Well, Sean Bice, we've got a really special guest here today, and for numerous reasons. And I'm Paul Carruthers, and this is Off Track with Carruthers and Bice, our weekly MotoAmerica podcast. And today we've got Frenchman Loris Baz joining us from France,
Spain now.
Spain. Okay, well, close
Yeah,
enough. Same time
yeah,
zone,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah. Same time zone.
Loris, in the past couple of years, we've had Bagger Bob. That's what we refer to Bobby Fong as, and now I think
Yeah,
we have Bagger Baz.
Gotta
So
be, gotta be.
the announcement, I mean, obviously we knew about it a little bit in advance. The announcement that you'd be joining the Indian motorcycle team, the wrecking crew, and that you will be riding a challenger in MotoAmerica King of the Baggers. Now, I was kind of surprised, but then when I thought about it, I wasn't so surprised. But was this something that did you find out early enough on the Superbike thing that that wasn't going to happen again, and you start making phone calls, or is it something you've been speaking to Indian maybe before?
no, I mean, it was. We knew from like kind of in a long time last year that it was gonna be tough for Warhorse and HSBK to make two bikes. Because as you know, the sponsor issue and things that happened beginning of the year last year. And yeah, so they had, but I was trying to help them with that to find the budget to make it happen. So we kept trying for a long time to make it happen, but it didn't. But before that, like when I left America after the last run, I spoke with them, and then the idea came. The first time Lewis told to me about that was like, hey, we could make a team, a bagger team, a Warhorse bagger team, and I was like, yeah. I don't really want it. Like, let's try to make the superbike happen. And then slowly, like, I had some calls like almost every week is Bobby and Lewis. And yeah, the more the time was going, the more I understood it was going to be hard to make it happen. And then it was pretty simple. Like, I had some call with Gary because he was looking for a third rider for the factory team in Indian. And yeah, he just said we have a test next week, so I just said I can come. So I went to the test. I just tried the bike, and yeah, I mean I had fun on the bike, which was I think the main thing is like, can I have fun on this bike? I jump on it, and it was yeah, it was really different, completely different things in my mind. But I was like, okay, yeah, I can have fun on this bike. I can enjoy riding it. And then it was just trying to make a contract where it was easy. They made my life easier. I just said, okay, I want to come. I like it. I like how the team works because they work like real professional, um, really like funny crew. And I was okay. I want to come, but I want to be free a part of that to make whatever I want anytime in the year. If some rides are available or something I can do wherever. Like I don't even want to take my phone and call you. Like I want to jump in on the plane and go. And they said, yeah, we're fine for it. So yeah, that was cool. We just make they made my life easier, honestly. And yeah, and then after that we started to talk with Gary. And there is a lot of people I know in Indian because, as you know, Indian is part of the Polaris group, and I'm a Polaris ambassador since more than 10 years, I think.
Oh yes,
Um,
snowmobiles. Yes, that's
yeah,
you.
snowmobiles and the Razor, and yeah, I mean, I know almost everyone in Indian and Polaris in France, so it's a small world, and then yeah, as soon as I make like I needed a bit of time to like think about that, but then I can tell you I tried the bike and I was like, okay, I think it can be fun and let's go.
So the test was kind of a tryout for you, obviously to see if you were fast, and the tryout was obviously from your side to see if it's something that you wanted to do. Is that kind of how the test was?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, I didn't even really check lap times or those things. I was just trying to understand if I can have fun riding it. I mean, going fast. I've been pretty fast on every bike I've been on my life, so I'm not I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's a different bike, and then for sure you need to find a way to go fast. But it was more for me in my mind, like, is it funny or not? Like, is it like something I want to do? And yeah, I did like 60, 70 laps that day, and I
Wow.
was like, hey, I can do it.
And you were fast. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah, I
heard.
think so. I think I was pretty fast. Yeah, I mean, and also yeah, I knew Troy from didn't like knew him personally, but I rode with him in Superbike when he was doing wildcard and when I was in World Superbike. And yeah, I mean, I just asked him before the test, before I jump on the bike the first time. I say, how am I supposed to ride this thing? And he's like, oh well, you see. I thought the same, and after two laps, you just figure out that it's just a bike, and you have to ride it as a bike, you know.
Yeah, so about it being just a bike, I mean, you say it's fun. So tell us, what is it that's fun about riding that bike from somebody that's ridden the bikes that you have world-class motorcycles?
So it's completely different. I mean, what I mean for my side, but I think for like any professional rider, we have fun trying to reach the limit and trying to be on the maximum potential of a bike, being on the limits, going faster, pushing the limits. I think that's what I like about riding super bikes and MotoGP and all the bikes. On a biker, it's different because obviously the weight is the main difference, and I think it's more. I had fun like when I take whatever bike and I go in a city, or like when you take a bicycle with your friend and you start to have fun and doing stupid things. The bike slide around and it's sliding on the brake. You have no traction control, a lot of torque, so it's just spinning and sliding the rear tires. So it's like it's fun. Like you have proper fun doing those things, but for sure it's not the same approach of being on the limit of a bike and being able to push the limits and push your limits. Like you have to be on the limit of the bike and not push your limit, I guess, because you cannot reach the maximum lean angle. You have to reach the maximum of what the bike is capable of. At least that's what I understood in this day there. But yeah, then I had fun. I had fun on the bike. I mean, it was just sliding around and big slide, big spin. It's a long time we don't ride bikes without TC, so I kind of like it, and yeah, I liked
Yeah,
it.
it's pure, that's for sure. Were you surprised with the lean angles that you could get from the saddle position? I know you see them on the track from outside that, but when you're on the bike, are you surprised you can get over that far on it?
Not really, because you're seated pretty high,
Yeah.
so it's more like yeah, it takes time before your knee touch the ground, but then it's just like yeah, you feel I was not going, I think, to the maximum lean angle of the bike because I was the first thing you worry about on this bike is more the limit of the lean angle, because before the bike touch, that's the limit of the bike. So I was trying to take care not like hit that straight away in the first test. But yeah, I mean, the biggest surprise is how fast you can go with a bike like that. It doesn't make sense, to be honest.
Right, right.
But I knew that before I was riding the bike. Like when you see the lap time they are doing compared to us on the super bike with a bike that heavy, it doesn't make sense. But so that's the surprising thing.
Yeah, Loris, I mean, I know you know this, but 185.5 miles an hour top speed last year for both Troy and Tyler on those bikes on the banking. It's incredible. I mean, they were among the fastest bikes we've had. Now, I know super bikes could do up to 200, but we don't do that anymore. So, but I was noticing they were talking about this Daytona 500 this past weekend. They do 189, 190 around there. And I'm like, whoa, so do we. So, get ready for it,
Yeah.
right, Loris?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big engine, and of course you have the draft that the bike is pretty big, but yeah, you can I mean, at the moment, I guess we can reach those speeds with a lot of bike, but for sure you don't expect a biker to reach those speeds. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to go to Daytona because always one of my dreams is to race the 200 miles. So it's not gonna be that this year, but at least I get a touch of a banking, and I'm looking forward to it. That's exciting.
It's funny because we talked to Troy right after his first ride at Daytona, and and he was pretty colorful and explaining how scared he was on the bike. But then obviously that went away, and he would contended for the race win in both races. So your eyes will probably get a little big initially, and then you'll settle down and
Yeah.
realize it's okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you just need to understand how to take those corners, but I'm not really worried about that. It's just you just need a bit of time getting used to that. But it's yeah, it's something I'm looking for. Like my dad was there in the 80s when Patrick Ponce won, and
Oh yeah.
I grew
1980.
up. Yeah, I grew up. I have a picture of my dad actually at the podium with Patrick. So
Wow.
um, I'm looking forward to go there. I think I grew up hearing those stories about Daytona and my dad and my mom going with the I don't know what car they had, the rental car they had on the beach, and I think they lost a car in the sea in those years with and so yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. That's why I went there last year to do the fuel guy for Josh because I was looking forward to see that race.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you, is it, you won your first superbike race, you didn't know it at the time, and I didn't actually until I looked it up. I thought it was accurate, but you became the first Frenchman to ever win a MotoAmerica Superbike race. Is it make you even more happy now that you did that since you're moving on to something else without moving on and not having won a race?
I mean, yeah, but it's just, the things happen when the things are done right, and I think it was the right time for us. There's something that happened last year that we all know in the team, and that made me take more time than we thought I needed to be fast again, and that injury in the first round again, and then lack of testing and some things. But I knew I was getting ready to win like by two, three races to the end, and it's just cool that it finally happened there, and especially the first race that my dad come to, and so yeah, I was happy, but I mean, it just make me like the next step, and that I want my next like my big goal in the future is to try to fight for that championship, that Superbike championship there in the US. And so yeah, but that just I mean, I'm really happy because I have a really cool transition. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun this year, and it's the cool thing about that is that people don't realize that it's actually maybe the only teams in the paddock that work like like a factory team. It's in the
Yes.
bag because it's a factory project. So whatever you need, whatever you ask, you know, I know the guys make meeting every week about improving the bike and the parts, and that's how factory superbike teams work on MotoGP. And so it's fun to be on the bike like that, and you see all the investment that they make and all the people that works behind. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it because I mean having three guys in the team, I think will push it even more, and will show even more that the Indian is the best bagger. So that's the target.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that team is as professional as it can be, and there's got good camaraderie on that team too, which is something you really enjoyed last year a lot, Loris. I mean, the chemistry that you had with that Warhorse team, and of course with Josh, is stuff of legend at this point, and you had a lot of fun. I don't know if Troy Herfoss and Tyler is much into practical jokes. That might be a little bit of a better thing, but we'll see how it goes. But you're probably going to just slot right into that team and fit in with those guys perfectly, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they're really cool guys. I like them. I spent 2, 3 days with Troy and Tyler in Orlando, and yeah, they are really cool guys. I don't think I will ever find a teammate apart from Jeremy, my best friend. I'm in his home now, but we are cycling together. So I mean, Josh was the first guy that I met, and I was so close to, and we see the things exactly the same, and we had so much fun. For sure, I will be closer to Troy in the training way than I was to Josh because he
Yeah.
trains, he cycles a lot, he runs a lot. So I mean, I have someone to train with now, so I can still go and train with Troy in the day, and then make some jokes with Josh in the evening. So that's
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Josh already asked me if I was gonna still cook for him this year.
Do
And
you have
And
do you have
Simone Simone texted me to know if I was gonna do the fuel for them in Daytona.
Oh,
That's
okay.
funny.
Toso, yeah, he's a
Yeah, I've
crazy
set them
person
to
too.
pay for this now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
salary. Do you get to ride the bike again before Daytona or no?
Yeah, we are testing 2 days at the end of the month. So I'm flying next week to Atlanta. We are testing 2 days, and then I'm driving to Daytona and stay there until the race. So yeah, we have 2 more days testing before the first race and 2 days before the second race. So yeah,
Oh, that's
that's cool.
good.
Yeah.
Will you be living this year in the States at all like you have been in the past?
No, I mean this year the plan is just to fly for every race and fly back after each race because yeah, I'm not gonna come with I mean I don't think my girlfriend will come to a lot of round. She opened a new job in France, and also I want to be, as I said, I want to be able to be ready to feeling for any rider that get any injury or thing. That's not something I wish, of course, but if something happen and my phone ring, in my career, my phone has ring many times where I was not able to say yes, I can come to race that bike because I have a contract with that brand and they don't let me go. So this year I can do it, and I will be commentating some superbike race for the French TV, and so
Oh,
yeah, I'm flying back, and there is less run in the bagger class, and there is so yeah, I have more than enough time to just fly back after every round. But yeah, I'm gonna stay sometimes. We are already planning with Jeremy and my dad and his dad a road trip on Indians in the US. So that's gonna be cool.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
best bike. That's the best bike to do it. So I will be. I'm getting more and more American. Like I ride for an American
I
brand
know.
now.
Yeah, it's true.
The American road trip on a bagger. So that's gonna be cool.
Very true. Well, that's a little sad about Joyce. That was my next question about her. I was hoping we were going to be able to see her, especially because you can't do a lot without her, Loris. I mean, how are you going to deal with that?
I mean, she last year you saw her a lot, but in the past she came to a lot of race since we are together. We are together since 2014 now, and she came to a lot of race, but not every race at all.
Okay.
She always been studying and working, and like the most she can come, we always try to make it happen. But then, yeah, I'm used to. I went to a lot of race alone. I went to a lot of race with my dad as well or my mom. So yeah, I always try to have someone, but
Yeah.
there is also like 21 where I was alone everywhere. There is 7 races this year, so yeah, we'll see. I have my dad coming to the first run. I have a friend coming to the second one. He's the guy that launched the European disabled racing series. So he lost his
Oh.
leg,
Hmm.
like
Oh.
he's paralyzed since a lot of time, and he's still racing. He's a stunt rider, and he did that first championship, and the championship still going big and bigger, getting bigger and bigger in Europe. So he's a really cool guy. He loves racing, and he's coming with me. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be alone at many rounds this year.
Okay. Well, you have so many friends in this country now anyway that you're not
Yeah.
going to be alone as it is. So,
No, no,
well,
sure, sure. I know more and more people every time, so that's fine.
that's right. How's the ankle? How's your fitness? Are you past all your injuries at this point? You feeling good?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was feeling good at the end of the year for sure last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been training a lot this year, this winter. Yeah, everything's fine. And I mean, races are short in the baggers, so you need to be strong because the bike is big. At least that's the first time in my life a team is not complaining that I'm too tall or too heavy. They
I
want tall and heavy rider, so that's
know.
cool. But yeah, no, I'm 100% fit.
So I was
Yeah.
going to ask you, and well, actually, I would know the answer, but you can obviously touch the ground. Where I think Troy probably he's pretty tall too, but not your size. And then Tyler, I think, is a little bit shorter. But a lot of those guys, the smaller ones, say that the hardest part about riding the bike is actually when you're in the pits and you're
Yeah,
negotiating and trying to stop and get off and start. So you won't have
yeah.
that problem.
No, sure, but that's the thing. Like you go from the pit and you're like, oh, that's so heavy. I can't raise that. And then as soon as you are getting to some speed, the bike feel way lighter, and that's fine. But yeah, coming into the pit, you have to be careful because I'm the guy that sometimes just arrive and let the bike to the crew and go. But not in this case with this bike, you have to take care and that the bike they actually have the bike in their hand because
Right.
it's really heavy.
Yeah, you need like four of them to catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you we already mentioned Daytona, but is there any place that you think like, oh man, riding the bagger at this place is going to be crazy or it's going to be fun or is there a track that jumps out as like, wow, this will be cool to ride a bagger here?
Not really, to be honest. I don't know. Like I think um I'm looking forward to eat the corkscrew at Laguna Uta.
Yeah. I was thinking
Like,
that. Yes.
that's the only thing. You know, like it's not like the first year where nobody knew how it was. Like I've been looking at the races, I've been following the series. So I, I mean, in Europe, no, they don't know, they are not used to it. But I mean, I'm used to see those bikes on track now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
true.
like a big surprise.
Yeah. Hey, off topic a little bit. Now that you are not going to be in Superbike, and hopefully someday we'll be back again in MotoAmerica Superbike, but give us a little prediction. We don't we some of the teams haven't announced yet, but we kind of think we know who's racing. There have been some teams that announced. Who's your favorite? Who's your pick to win Superbike this year? MotoAmerica Superbike.
Josh.
Yeah, of course. How could it not
Yeah.
be, right?
Well, I mean, I will be cheering for him, and I will be kick him in the ass if he doesn't win. So yeah, I want him to win. So yeah, I think he's in a good place. You know, the more years and you have in a team like that, it will have kind of the same crew. Yeah, I think he's in a good position to win. But yeah, I mean, it will be close again. I think, yeah, for me, the fastest last year until he got that injury was Bobier.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
but Josh has been really clever to manage the whole season, So that's something that he's really strong at, and he's strong on Sunday all the time. So yeah, I think he's in a good position.
And I think now in his head, I mean, when he beat Bobier like at Laguna Seca, I think now in his head he knows that he can do that. Before, I think he was always like, maybe I'm not good enough to beat Bobier, but I think that's gone now, and I think he's confident and in a
I
different
don't
place.
think, honestly, I don't think so. I think that's something from the people around, but when you're on a bike, you always believe you can do it. Like it's just that what people doesn't understand is to win, you need to put so many parameters together. You need, like, of course, you first with yourself. Find the things that make you faster. Some guys need to train hard. Some guys need to enjoy. Some guys need like wife and kids. Some doesn't. But then apart, you have that. That's already super hard to find what you need and what you need. But then you need at the same time where you find it, you need the team, you need the bike, you need the some luck sometimes. And so yeah, you just need everything together. And it just that's why when you said about my win, I was just like, yeah, it was just time. But I almost felt like during the warm-up lap that I was gonna win that one because I was like, we found something on the bike, and I knew it was coming, and then I felt the bike on the warm-up lap, and I was like, yeah, I know Simone make some change in the warm after the warm-up, and I felt like, okay, that's my time now. So I think it's just I think Josh always knew that he was good enough to beat them.
Hmm.
For you, what was the one thing about that bike or that team that was tough? Was it the tires? Were the tires still an issue for you at all?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, we had a lack of testing. I was coming from a massive injury in 23. We
Yes.
didn't test in the winter. So I knew I had to take time at the beginning of the year to find my pace. And then that big crash again in Atlanta race one broke my ankle again. So I had to do race two with the broken ankle. And then in Barber, I was pretty good considering how tough the bike is there. And then I had that crash with the lapper, and I
Oh, that's
Oh,
broke.
right.
yes. That was
I injured
crazy.
my knee again. So that's not excuses. Like that's what happened. And so then I needed time, but I've been fast on one lap. I was over riding the bike a lot on one lap. But we just didn't have my setup for the race distance and to make the bike easy to ride. I think there was a bit of lack of communication between my crew chief and Simone. Like we could have been better in that, like using Simone. That's what I wanted, but we were trying to take our own direction. So, and then the last two rounds, we've been like, I know Simone has been able to give us a bit more help setting up the bike, and yeah, that made a huge difference in the race distance and how I felt on the bike riding it. You know, like going fast on one lap when you're over riding the bike and using a lot of track and lean angle, that's something. But then in the race, you need to be able to use different lines. And I was not able to overtake. I was not able to hit the brake like I like. I know many guys last year said, "Oh, okay, Loris is not Loris anymore. He doesn't overtake. He doesn't push the guys wide. He doesn't hit the guys." And I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry, that's coming. I just need the bike to do it." And like so, yeah, that's a lot of parameters that you need to put together. And yeah, but I mean, I'm super happy that we came back stronger at the end of the year. And I prefer to win the last one than the first one. And
That's true.
I'm more than happy than Ducati, HSBK, and Warhorse won that championship because I feel like I'm part of that project, and I really hope I'll be back with them in one day because they are a big family that I have in the US. So I'm in touch with them almost every week. So that's cool.
Loris, did you have an option to do the super sport with Ducati?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bobby didn't even mention that. Like, he know I don't want to do it, and
Okay.
so yeah, he said like, and also Lewis was like, we have that, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't ride the 600 since I'm 15, so
Right. You
I
know,
think
it's
I'm a bit too big for that bike.
Yeah.
But I want to do Daytona. I think Daytona is different, and I want to do Daytona one day. Even if I want the next race I'm gonna do on a 600, like it's not a 600 anymore, but in Super Sport will be Daytona for sure. That's the only race I accept to do on a 600.
That's good.
yeah. Um, so I want to ask you about another teammate that you had. We've been following him. He's going to be racing at Phillip Island this coming weekend, and he's very elusive. I don't know if you get in touch with him or able to much. We are hardly ever able to get in touch with him. But Garrett Gerloff, have you talked to him lately? How's he doing? If you've talked to him, what's happening with that guy?
Well, just a little bit, you know. He said I was not visiting him enough in Superbike, but I said I spent a year in your country and you didn't even came to any race. So like.
That's
That was
true.
that, that was the bromance between us. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, I like him. I like him a lot, and I think he has a good opportunity now. Good bike. I think an easier bike than the BMW and Superbike to ride, and I hope he find on that bike what is missing on the first laps, and that if you have a bike that give you the confidence to overtake people and push harder. It's not only you, it's the bike sometimes that need doesn't mean that the bike is good or bad, but the bike need to give you the confidence. So hopefully he has that, and the level is getting higher and higher in Superbike every year. And there is a lot of good bikes, and it's so easy to miss your Super Bowl, and you start from 17, and then your weekend is over. So yeah, we'll see. I will be following for sure, especially if I'm commentating in some runs, and
Right.
hopefully I can race him some runs as well. That would be funny.
Yeah, and I mean, my gosh, all eyes on that guy and that team, right? That's crazy. I mean, that's a huge amount of pressure. Not only the fact that it's pressure, but I mean, he's got a lot of access to a lot of things, a lot of resources on that team. And that Pichetti's been around for a while, but having Kawasaki as the official team is a pretty big deal. I mean, from your perspective of racing in that series, that's got to be a big help, doesn't it, to have a factory like that behind you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. You need to see like there is the what is written on the paper and
Right.
on the announcement, and that's the reality behind. I don't know exactly what's the reality on that. I know for sure it's a big help if you have the full factory project. I don't think it's a pressure at all. It just depends how you take it. I think it's just you need to take only this thing positive, and it can be a big help. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it goes. We know that his talent, Garrett is really talented and really fast. We know what he's been lacking the last 2 years, and I hope that it show what he was missing in Super Bowl, and beginning of the race um, was also something that didn't give me confidence on that bike. So let's see if the Kawasaki make him feel better in that area, and that will change a lot of his race because he's really strong at the end of the race. So yeah, that could be something. But yeah, as I said, the level is super high this year. There's a lot of Ducatis fast. Scott is back on the Ducati. There's a lot of super fast guys. So yeah, it will be a nice championship to follow.
For sure.
Back to the Indian, I only have one more question. The When you start the season, will you automatically gravitate to maybe what Troy used in that race last year as a starting point? Or will you, by then, will you have to kind of have your own? Is it close enough to do that or not to get you in that initial setup window?
I don't know. No, like I haven't been talking. I'm happy because I will be working with Scott Jansen again. I've been working with him in 21. I could choose my crew chief, so that's something cool. It's a long time, but it didn't happen to me. So I'm happy that I can work with Scotty again. He knows me from 21, and yeah, I'm sure he has an ID already, and they have an ID. Troy's crew chief has been helping me a lot at the test. He knows the bike very well. He's been changing a lot the setup last year to make the bike work like a normal bike. So I think, yeah, I mean, I didn't talk to them. I will chat with them this weekend and see what they want. But for sure, we're gonna use the database that they have, for sure.
Yeah, Laura, so you guys over there visit countries the way we visit states. And it makes sense because some of the countries are about the size of states, but and I don't even visit that many states except during the MotoAmerica season. But I mean, you mentioned to us that you're in Spain right now. You're French and you kind of live in Switzerland, I think, a little bit, but you're involved with Châtel, the Port of the Sun, I believe it is, isn't it? Isn't
Yeah,
that what it's
yeah,
called?
yeah.
So you're in Spain now, but have you been back home lately? And have you been doing any snowmobiling?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in Europe, it's as you said, like I like to travel, and I used to live in Spain when I was 10. So I'm still spending a lot of time here when I can. And so now I'm just here. Like I came for 3 days just cycling with my friend because I was tired to do some indoor training at home. I also moved now. I used to live in Switzerland. I'm back in France, south of France, close to Aix-en-Provence with my girlfriend, but I also spend a lot of time where my parents live, close to Châtel, because I want to reopen the restaurant that my mom used to have, and it's in the right direction. So yeah, a lot of things, but I haven't been doing a lot of snowmobile because we didn't have a lot of snow, and I've been also pretty busy all winter, but yeah, hopefully I can go before I take the plane on 25th to the US. I can do 1 day snowmobiling. So yeah, just traveling, doing things with my parents, my dad, and yeah, just spending time with my friends, walking, training. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool that you get around as much as you do. I mean, I really like it, and it's always good to see what everybody else is up to in different places. But it's cool because I mean, here I am in Ohio where we've got a lot of snow. I cannot wait to get. We're doing our tests this weekend at Podium Club in Arizona. I cannot wait to get there. But the south of France has got to be in the winter. Is it pretty nice there?
Yeah, yeah, it's super nice. It's cool. Actually, it's cool because I can train outside where I'm living. I can train outside if I go skiing or hiking, but I like cycling and I want to stay in shape cycling. So if you want to do cycling where I live most of the time, you have to do indoor training. I did a lot of Zwift this winter and racing, but that's cool. When I'm in the south, I can just go cycling outside every day. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I have a question as it relates to Swift, because I see it on my Strava all the time, and I don't need it because I'm in California, so I don't have weather issues when it comes to cycling. How come when I look at the map, like half the ride is like in the ocean?
Yeah, I mean it's so Zwift is like a created world. They have some different maps. One, it's called Watopia. It's the biggest one. It's a like generative world that they made, and there is some like underground tunnel under the sea. It's
Okay.
like create
Okay.
like, and then you have London, you have other city, Paris, and those are the real city and the real like view of the place. But the Watopia one is just a creative one.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what the hell? But now I know.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to train. I mean, I used to do indoor, and after half an hour, I was just like tired, and I don't want to do it. Like mentally, it's exhausting. And
It's
now
horrible.
With Zwift, I can easily do an hour and a half, 2 hours on the Zwift. It just goes pretty quick, and you have friends doing it, and you race, so the time goes quicker.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's good. Real quick back to you mentioned about Joyce, and I want to shout out to her again. She's still a physical therapist. Is that what her job is?
Yeah,
She said she got a new job now, so she's doing
yeah,
that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. She is osteopath, so that's like chiropractor in the
Oh,
U. And then she's doing another thing that is called the Renata Franza therapy, and she's working on a sportive massage, and she loves that, and she's doing pretty good. She opened as soon as we came back from the US, she opened her own place, and it's going pretty well. So that's cool. That's cool. She finally can work for herself, and I think that's something when you do it for yourself and not for someone else. That's better. That's nice.
Yeah.
that's awesome. Man, we are looking forward to seeing you at Daytona for sure, Loris. And it'll
Yeah.
be cool with your parents there. I haven't met your parents or your dad or anything, so that's going to be
Yeah, my dad
awesome.
is coming. My dad's coming. We're gonna go, I think, try to be there for the Daytona Supercross on first, and
Wow.
That's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Good.
trying to
Do
make
you
it happen now.
do you follow Supercross and who are your favorite riders? Dylan Ferrandis, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Dylan personally. Of course, I follow the French guys, Tom and Dylan. But yeah, I mean, without the season is going right now, I would love Ken to get that.
Yeah.
I would love it. Like, I mean, I've been through injuries and I know how it is. And like, I think he's in the right moment. And I also like when I was young, I was tired of the old riders keeping their ride. And now I'm getting old. I like the old riders getting like showing that you can get better after 30, and still improving. That's what I'm saying. Like, I never felt as good as I felt last year on a bike and knowing so many things. And I think Ken is in the right position. Like I really love it. I'd love him to win that one.
Yeah, I
That's
think a
cool.
lot of people feel the same.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, well, we will see you Daytona. It'll be here before we know it. And safe travels. Stay safe on the motorcycle in your test, and we'll see you in Florida.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys.
Thanks.
See you, Loris.
Bye.